Hello my friends, this is Splish. I hope you're having a good day. I am giving you some tips when it comes to games that you can check out if you like to play FPS games and also want to find a free-to-play game. Maybe you've already spent all your money on the Steam Summer Sale, so maybe then this is something for you. I have been playing on the side, I would say, since I haven't been posting any content on my channel when it comes to a game called Scavengers. This is a free-to-play, once again, free-to-play game, strategic shooter. You see it's third person, where you form squads of 3 and you fight for your survival, but also dominance. In a hybrid of sandbox-style PvE and class-based PvP. The last saying was, of course, from the Steam page, and it's how it's pronounced or described from the developers. By the way, the developers are Midwinter Entertainment, publisher is Improbable Worlds Limited, and this game was released on the 1st of May 2021, so it's pretty new. I haven't played yet with my friends, meaning friends that I usually play games such as this together with. So I'm looking forward to do that, but it has been working pretty well with the, you might say, random matchmaking so far. Again, this is a game in, like, I guess it's early access. Yeah, it's an early access game, which also means that you might encounter a few hitches or bugs and stuff. You will see one at least here in my video. And by the way, the gameplay here that you're watching is a mix from me playing my first matches, but also a bit later on when I had come a bit further, also upgrading and so forth. The best way to describe this is to say, have you ever played the cycle? If you have played the cycle, you know what this is about. It's has a lot of similarities when it comes to the world. Even though it looks so much different, here we have this vast snowy landscape, and in the cycle it was more like almost tropic. But it has the same style, also the mix again, including both PvE and PvP in the game. But it has to be said also that it is a kind of battle royale game, and I say, usually when I was talking about the cycle before, I call it like a light battle royale game, meaning that you actually have a chance to spawn in. If you die, you still have 1 life left. If you die after that, you're out of the game. And this will suit some people and maybe not others. I also want to say that the first games I had was not always fun. And the reason why, I think also when I watch the reviews on Steam, when I see that they are mixed and also some people think that it's not new player friendly, I have to agree a bit. Because you will meet players that have been playing many hours in this game and therefore have been able to upgrade into the next tier and the next tier and get better stuff and of course also experience playing the game and maybe even playing together as a squad, having voice communication and so forth. But nevertheless, that has to be said and it's in here, so that might be a turn off actually for some people playing it. Especially if you have job, you might have family, or you might be studying and whatever have you, and can only get into the game occasionally, maybe like once or twice a week. And I think you start to understand what that means if you are meeting players then that are playing this almost on a daily basis, or at least maybe 5-6 times a week. I am not a huge fan of that kind of player or game model, you might say. I have encountered that before, and as I said, that might be a turn off for some people. I was and have been lucky though to have the possibility to play quite some and therefore even out the odds, if that makes sense, by doing so. I also see that some people are complaining and saying that the characters are pay to win. Not 100% sure about that, but I did see in the store, for example, that you can buy these boosters or boost when it comes to getting extra XP and therefore leveling up faster, which can be good for some people, but in a way, there we are again. It makes the balance a bit uneven for some. But I have to say, I've had good moments in the game and had fun, and now have a few hours at least so I can talk about this, and of course that's also the reason why I'm making this video. So once again, if you played games such as The Cycle or an Apex Legends for that sake, I do think you would enjoy this game. As you can see, the visuals are pretty good, the sounds are okay, I would say. There's definitely room for improvement when it comes to the actual gunplay. But furthermore, I would like to see something that has to do with the amount of players, or meaning the squads in the game, or the map. It kind of relates to each other, of course. What I'm trying to say is that it does take quite some time, usually when you get into these matches, to encounter other players. Mainly because the map is so big. So with that said, because when I played the cycle, if I remember it correctly, usually I had the opportunity to stumble upon other real players earlier in the game. That's not usually the case here. So my suggestion is either to increase the amount of teams in the matches, or just make the map a bit big. Oh, not bigger, smaller. It's big as it is. I mentioned earlier that it can be hard for a newcomer to get into the game, but I also have to say I hear voices from people that have a lot of hours in the game, like 100 hours or plus hours, that it can be tough also in higher tiers, and they're mainly talking about, for example, proxy mines on players, that high tier players just craft proxies and throw them on each other to just run into players and blow them up, taking no self damage. This is one of the voices being heard, especially on Steam, so I would like to know if that is still the case in the game. There were updates, but as I can see, this was not addressed and it's still a problem. But again, the game is in early access, and I do hope the devs are listening in and of course taking notes when it comes to what people are experiencing playing the game. I mean, in the community, because I do think that the game has potential, and again, I'm making this video to, you know, maybe get you to try out the game as well. And if you do, let me know. I'm curious to hear what you think about it. That also goes, of course, for all you guys out there that might be watching my video only having like maybe 7 hours into the game or something. If you played it a lot, let me know what you think. It's always cool to have, you know, sayings from people that have played a game a lot, especially when you've just touched the surface yourself and are improving as we're going. I mean, I have played a lot of shooter games, so it feels, I feel confident playing, but there are things you just have to learn when it comes to also avoiding the storm, or how to behave when the storm comes and you start to freeze and you almost die by doing so. Actually, I did once, actually twice, to be honest. So you see, there are definitely things that you will encounter that might be a bit new for you, and you have to just learn how to deal with it. And also remember that this is a game that has lots of crafting and leveling up and point spending, talent picking, progression. So if you're into that, or if it's not like a big thing for you in a negative way, then definitely this is a game that you should try out once again. I also want to say this, there are cheaters in the game, unfortunately already. I encountered at least one when I was playing. I think it was one in my early matches actually, and I am pretty 100% sure that it was a cheater. And this is of course unfortunate. There is an anti-cheat system, maybe not the best in the game, but I hope that the devs also continue to look into this, otherwise people will just turn away instantly from the game, even though they might have fun playing it. It's just gonna get too frustrating. Or maybe the game's linear progression makes you actually leave the game earlier than that, not the cheaters. Because this seems to be a major target when it comes to criticism. Players who have to put in more hours, as I talked about before, to get better gear will dominate probably players who are just starting out playing the game. And you get roasted by these veterans. Now, I don't want to scare you off, but I do want to say it. I think it's important. But even so, I hope you will give this game a try. I think it has some potential, and it can be definitely something that are fun to play together with friends. I have downloaded the game on Steam. I'll probably put a link in the description, but I also believe that it's available on Epic Games, which is often the case nowadays. So with those words, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider to subscribe to my channel, turning on the notification bell so you don't miss out any future stuff. And also take care, stay healthy, and I hope you're gonna enjoy Scavengers. Have a beautiful day and take care. Later.
Open the dropship.